Big one. I don't know how big this one is. We'll just try it. He probably won't even make the film. He's only 7 3/4 pounds. I don't even think, the way we're catching fish, there's a good chance this thing won't even be in the film, Fred.
I know.
I'm telling you. I think we can get all 8-pound fish on this film. That's how strong it is. That's not even 8. He doesn't qualify. Okay, boys. Just a little baby one. I'm telling you what. When you're working for the world record, boys, you're not fooling around with 5 and 6 pounders. 5 and 6 pounders don't mean anything.
They don't.
I'm telling you what. A little pequeño 5 or 6 pounder like this means absolutely nothing in the quest of the world record bass.
17-time BASS National Champion, 9-time BASS Angler of the Year. This is Fishing with Roland Martin.
Inland from Los Mochis on the Gulf of California, Mexico's Lake Bacarac holds a very special attraction to serious bass fishermen. In these waters backed up from the drainage of the Sierra Madres, there is, in all likelihood, a new world record largemouth bass. This called for a return visit for Roland and fishing companion Fred Ward. The small caravan of Yanks trailered their rig south from Phoenix some 700 miles to a village and lodge near Lake Bacarac, where you'll see from the highlights of their 4-day trip was well worth the drive.
Well, I tell you what, this is a beautiful lake. I love these mountains. They're just so green and verdant and live.
I mean, we've just had the greatest time. Not only are we on the best bass fishing lake in the world, but we've been treated world class.
Oh, yeah. You know, for just a rural, out-of-the-way place, they've really made something out of nothing, haven't they?
That's right.
I mean, there's no facilities on the lake, but yet they're adequate. I mean, what we have here aren't bad. I mean, it's a nice little luncheon area they have and a nice little area for naps. And of course, the lodge itself, you know, it's simple, but it's completely sufficient. You know, it does everything you need for a good lodge. Fred, what color screw worm do you like?
I'm rigging up a pearl color. I tried a couple other colors, and I'm going to try this pearl. It ought to work just, you know, really good. It worked here last year really good.
Oh, you just swim it along?
Yeah, look at it in the water. Just swim it along.
Yeah.
Just swim it along like so.
I'm telling you what.
You know, it's almost as long as a lot of the bigger baits, topwater baits, and it really has a lot of action on it.
Looks good.
What was that, Roland? Roland.
What, right there? Look, big swirl. Big swirl right there.
Go ahead,
Big
I'll
swirl,
give you the
big
first
swirl,
cast.
Big,
Go
big
ahead.
swirl, big swirl, big swirl, big swirl, big swirl.
I'm just letting mine sink, because I threw a little bit short of where you were.
Ah, he hit mine. Did you see that boil? You got him? You got him, Fred?
I got it.
Hey,
I got it.
take him, Fred.
I got it.
Hey, that's a big fish on. Another big one. All right.
Okay.
That screw worm's got him, son. How big is he?
He's big,
man,
he's
alive.
He's big. He's about
Woo.
8 pounds.
Man, I tell you what, folks. Another big fish. And we saw that one break back there, and I threw back there, and he hit it. Here, I'll land it for you if you want.
He's just too strong. He's too strong.
Oh, I tell you what, folks. The world record quest. You don't ever know. I mean, we've only had a couple strikes today, and they've all been like 7 and 8 and 9 pounds. They've just been huge fish.
Come on, Papa.
Man, they're just giant. Here, let me help you with that. Just huge fish. It's not quite as big as the other one, but he's pretty good. What do you think, son? How big is he?
Oh, he's really not more than about 5.5. I thought he was bigger.
I thought he was bigger. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can always take the little old scale here, and he's not as big as we thought. But that's what happens. We think that they're bigger.
6 pounds.
And he's 6'9", 10, 6'10". That's not bad.
Just a
That's not bad.
poquito.
Why don't you let him go?
Muy
Boy, he's a beautiful fish. Absolutely no parasites. That's the nice thing about these big fish in Bacarac, is that they're just as healthy as I've ever seen a fish. Now, for some reason, there's a big population of fish here. And last year, we caught a lot of 2-pound and 3-pound and 4-pound fish with a few big ones like this. But this year, it's altogether different. We've only had like 5 strikes today. And it's still early in the morning. Sun's just coming up. And all the fish that we've had to hit are over 5 pounds so far. So it's really big fish time. Not many fish, but big fish. Okay, Fred.
It's funny, we haven't seen we've seen 2 other guide boats today, and now, oh, this is our buddy Ray.
Ray Hill.
Yeah, Ray Hill. We haven't seen him since early this
We're
morning.
kind of having like a little contest. See, Fred's caught one about 9 pounds, so we're gonna kind of think that maybe he's gonna see if he doesn't have one over 9, because I'll bet you anything. Okay, Fred's got one almost 9 pounds. He's got one almost 9.
We've got one, I believe, Roland might be the world record.
Oh, I've heard that before.
I mean, he is a giant bass. I'm so excited.
How big do you think he is?
20 pounds, maybe
Oh, come on now.
22, 23 pounds. How big is the world record, Roland?
22 pounds.
22. I believe I got the world record. I probably got $1
we've
million
heard that
bass
before.
here.
Well, we can show you a 9-pounder right off the bat.
Look at this, Roland.
Oh, son!
Oh, man.
What are you
Look at this
talking about?
fish.
Oh, man! Hey,
at
there,
this
wait a minute.
fish.
How big is that thing? That is really a big fish, Ray.
I believe.
When did you catch it? First thing this morning?
First thing this morning, I was working one of the helicopters over a log.
Helicopter?
A helicopter.
A helicopter? The world record on a helicopter?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm not-
Then
I'm not
he
so-
just
Hey.
tore it up, Fred.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you
it's
what-
so exciting.
What have you had him
I'm
on
not
ice?
sure.
I've had him on ice. I couldn't even get him through. See them little doors on my live wells? I couldn't even get him through them little doors. Had to put him on ice.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how big a fish that is.
beautiful.
That's the biggest fish I've ever seen. I'm telling you what, Ray, that is the biggest fish I've ever seen. I'm gonna zero the thing. It's on 0.
You can't believe how
Man, I
this fish
tell you
hit this
what.
morning
Man.
on helicopter right over a big log. Just devoured it. It's so exciting. I've never had nothing like this happen to me.
That's-
in my life.
That's way.
Okay, folks, here we go.
Let it go.
Here we go.
My God, look at that. 19.7, 19.8,
Oh, my goodness.
19 pounds, 19 pounds, about a pound or 2 pounds off the world record. You're talking about a fish, son.
Oh, man.
That is the biggest fish I've
What
ever
a
seen in my
fish.
life.
What a fish.
Golly, Dave, you're gonna get
How
that
long is
mounted.
the fish?
Yeah,
He's as
I
long
I
as
don't know. We don't have any way to measure it. My heavens. Well, now, that's not the official weight, but that gives you an idea of how big it is. And by the way, Fred, what's the official Mexican record?
1910.
So
Oh,
you're
this show.
almost maybe the Mexican record, if not the world's record. Well, it's not the world's record, but it's close. Hey, congratulations,
You know
Ray.
how many fish have been caught? You know how many fish have been caught that size?
Yeah, I'm
Probably in
talking
the
about.
last 50 years, there hasn't been more than like.
Hey, can I hold it? Can I hold it one time?
Sure.
I just got to show this to the camera. One time, son. If that isn't a
man.
bass, son. That calls for a son. Let's go fishing. Let's get out of here. Let's go. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
Man alive. Woo! I'm talking about the biggest fish in the world. Now that's why we're here, folks, in quest of the world's record. We're close. You know what? One of the big fish I caught last year, Fred, was on this jig. Jig's been paying off.
We caught a lot of big fish on that jig last year. That black jig and pig, Uncle Josh, big. That's that big number. That
this
jumbo.
Is,
That's a
let's
jumbo
just show
pork.
what it is. It's a big half-ounce Blue Fox jig. That's the standard half-ounce big one. Flippin' fool, we call it.
Yeah,
with
but
the
this
big
is
hook.
this is the jumbo pork.
That's the biggest frog chunk that they make, isn't it?
Well, they got one just a little bit
that's
fatter,
right.
just
they got one.
just
That's
ever
the
so
number one.
slight bigger.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. But that's the one we caught them on last year. This combination right here.
That's good.
That paid off.
good.
You know, they're hitting a little bit of everything, though, aren't they?
We've
They're hitting
got-
screw worms. They're hitting helicopters. They're hitting these big jigs. Now that it's in the middle of the day, you know, those big fish hit at dawn and at dusk on topwater stuff. Now that it's the middle of the day, I think the jig's going to be the deal.
Let's just keep experimenting and let you know.
I got to strike. I got to strike. I got to strike. I got to strike. I got to. Oh, man.
Did you get him? Get him?
It all wrapped up. Hope this line holds.
Oh,
Here
man,
he
it
comes.
just
He's
broke
coming
loose.
out this way.
Just broke loose from that.
How
from
big
that
is he?
That old cactus.
How big is he?
That's an Oregon
That's a
pipe
big-
cactus you
Oh,
were in.
what happened? He broke loose on something. Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, look at that big one.
Oh, I just got a hit,
Hey,
too.
you got a strike?
No,
look at this one, look at this one, look at this one.
Oh, jeez.
Man, I'm talking about a big one here.
That's another giant fish.
Oh, man, it's another giant fish. I don't think it's as big as Ray's.
Let me help
Oh,
you.
man, alive.
Let me help you.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, man, huh?
Let me help you.
Oh! Wait a minute. How big is he? How big is he?
Oh.
Huh?
10. He's 10.
I think he's 10 pounds?
He's 10 pounds.
So I'll tell you what, after seeing some of these fish that we've seen today, I'm just gonna zero the scale right here and try him. Boy, he got wrapped up every which way.
Okay, how close is it?
No, he's not quite 10. 8 pounds, 11 ounces.
8 pounds, 11
8 pounds,
ounces.
11 ounces.
Well, that's a big fish. That's
Yeah,
a big
but
fish.
you know, we're spoiled.
But it's really just an insignificant fish, because if it's under 10 or 12, it just doesn't make any difference. You don't even raise any eyebrows.
I'm telling you what, folks, that is one big fish.
All right, let's get back.
Almost 9 pounds. Oh, big fish. Big fish, big fish. Oh, man, did he ever hit that thing. Rapala time. I'm talking about big fish on Rapala, son. It is the magical time. It's 5 or 6 pounds. He hit that thing. It is now late in the evening. It is funny, this morning, about the same light conditions, these bass were hitting topwater. They were hitting all sorts of screw worms. They were hitting beautiful helicopter lures. And now I just put the Rapala on. I just caught a big one on a Rapala. He's pretty big.
It's an insignificant fish. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just a little bitty fish. We got to get big ones.
He's not real big, but he's bigger than what I've caught in the last couple hours.
Boy,
The last crankbait, I did catch a crankbait fish 3 or 4 hours ago, and it was this size. And now this one here is big again. We only have about an hour to fish, so in the next hour, Fred just hooked one about 3 or 4 or 5 pounds, and I've just hooked one, and it's about 5 or 6 pounds. Oh, let's see. Well, I'm gonna get one of my Walmart scales. It's just getting to be automatic. I tell you what, that's only 5.5 pounds. But I tell you what, an average. This lake, the average that we've caught today is probably 7 pounds. What an incredible, incredible fish. Okay, now what I'm throwing here now, I've just changed, and I've gotten the Husky series Rapala. And it's a little heavier, and why I like it particularly on heavy spinning tackle. See, I'm throwing 20-pound line. That's about as heavy as you can throw on a spinning rod. And that's a pretty heavy plug. And he hit it as it was sitting still. I threw it out there and just let it sit there. Pretty much just let it sit there and just barely twitched it.
You know, I just happen to have one tied on.
Do you?
Let's see if he'll take that little worm. Mm-hmm. Snag him. Now he's looking at that.
He's trying to get it. He's trying to get it.
He's gonna get it.
Twitch it.
Watch this.
He's got it.
Look at this. Look at it. Look at him. Look at this big fella. Look at him. That's strong.
He ate it up.
Look how black he
He's
is.
sick.
He's a sick fish.
Sick fish. He hit the screw worm. He ate it, boy.
Look how
That's
black
neat.
he is.
That was neat. I'm telling you what, that was wild. Here we are, folks. We're out here, and there's this black-looking bass.
I let him go.
7 or 8 pounds, but he's on top of the water, sick and just all emaciated and ready to die. And Fred throws that screw worm in front of him, and the screw worm came right down, and he ate it. He ate it up on camera. Now that was strong. I mean, when a half-dead bass is going to eat a lure, that must be a pretty good lure, huh? I mean, that's his last meal.
That's strong. Here's a big fella. There he is. There's a big fella. That's a big fish. That's a big fish. That's a very big fish.
That's a nice one, boys. It's what it's all about, Bacarac and topwater. Early in the morning, Bacarac and topwater. You're talking about really trophy bass. If I can keep them out of the bushes, that's what it's all about. Looks like he's over 10, Fred. He could be over 10. He could be over 10. I love it.
Come on, babe. Get him in, Roland. Get him in. Get him in, Roland.
Oh!
Nobody's going to believe he's 10. We
pounds.
got to get him in and weigh him.
Oh.
That's a significant fish there.
significant, but he's not the world record, but he's not, I don't care. I've just gone past worrying about that.
He's a big fish.
10.
He's a big fish.
He's not 10. He's about 8 or 9. Ah! Oh boy, I gotta weigh him. He's not as big as I thought. No, he doesn't weigh but 8.5 pounds.
8.5. Well,
I thought he was bigger. I thought he was
it's a nice fish. Real nice fish.
Okay, boys.
We're gonna get some more.
I tell you what, this lake has one of the best topwater bites I've ever seen. Oh, the Rapalas, the chugger type lures, even the sluggo type lures, the screw worms, all the shallow stuff that are good in the United States, anywhere from Connecticut to California. The same patterns work here. These fish are no different. They're just 3 times bigger. Tremendous fish.
It's a tremendous fish. It's a tremendous fish.
Tremendous fish. Hit a Rapala, too.
He hit a Rapala.
Yes, sir.
That is a big fish. It's a big fish. It's a big fish.
Hit a big Rapala.
It's a big fish. It's a big fish.
Hit a big Rapala.
Oh,
Hit a big Rapala. Man, he ate the whole thing. I was twitching that Rapala along. I'm telling you what, son.
He ate it up. He ate it up.
Get out in the sun where we can see him. Oh, man, what a fish. I don't know how big he is. Huge fish. Boy, he ate that Rapala up, son. I'm telling you what. Get him, son. Just weigh him with the lure in its mouth. I gotta do this. Where's that scale? Where's the scale? Yeah. Okay. Okay, boys.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Wait a minute.
Oh, it's not almost 10. It's almost 10 pounds. No. 9 3/4. 9 3/4. And son, I want you to look at that Rapala in its mouth. He ate the whole thing up. I mean, he just came in there and gobbled that whole big daggone lure, slammed down his throat. Let's see if I can't get that. Tell you what, give me a pair of pliers. Oh, he's hooked right there in the gill.
Roland's not excited. He has a pair of pliers.
I got it off. I got it off. I got it off. Well, almost 10 pounds. What a big, huge bass.
That's
we
a
have
significant
an
8
pound average, son. I mean, this is almost 10 fish we've caught today, about 8 pounds apiece, probably an 80-pound string. Probably an 80-pound string. I'm telling you what, Fred, it's getting strong. It's getting strong. Where's the lure? Where's the lure? Now, what about, you know, we've been cranking, you know, the other lakes, and boy, that's a hot crankbait, this big old deep diving crankbait. Yeah. That works pretty good here, doesn't it?
But you got to keep those, you know, sharp hooks on it. You got the that new
we've taken
hook
the time and used the hook honer Power Stone, and we've sharpened almost all the hooks that we're using, and that is really an efficient way of sharpening the hooks. But now, let's talk about a jig. Now, last year we caught all those big giant fish on a jig, and I think we had a pork rind like this, the big #1, with the big half-ounce.
This is a jumbo. This is a jumbo pork.
That's a jumbo, and that's really good on 25-pound line in these bigger trees. So we'll try that too, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's it, 5 baits.
Well, the screw worm's another bait.
Oh yeah, well we used to screw them. You've caught a couple fish.
And the Rapala.
We've caught a couple fish. Now, I didn't catch much on the screw worm. Fred threw it a lot more than I did, but at least I had one rigged up on my Kevlar line and everything. So I think we're pretty good shape. Okay, let's get after some other topwater fish. There's one. I got one now, Fred. Look at that one. Man alive.
This is a big fish. This is the big fish.
Man alive.
This is a big giant. This is the biggest fish yet. This is a giant fish. Absolutely a giant fish.
That's really a big fish.
This is a giant fish.
It's really a big one. Really a big one. Really a big one, boys. Really a big one. I'm talking, you got that Rapala too, son. He's a Rapala killer, son. Get him. Hey, all right. Oh, boy. Yeah, I got one now. I'm talking about a trophy fish. Woo! This one might be my big one for the day. I believe it'll go over 10. Pretty comfortably over 10. Caught him almost 10. Almost 10. This one will go over 10.
I think so. He's a big fish. He's a big fish.
Yep, look at it. I did it. I did it. 11 pounds. 11 pounds, son. 11 pounds on a Rapala. I did it.
What do you think of Lake Bacarac?
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. We've caught about 10 fish today, and I haven't added them all up. We very definitely have an 80-pound stringer or plus for the fish we've caught. This happens to be the biggest, a little over 11 pounds, or 11 pounds. Had another one 10, some more 9s. For big bass, this is the best big bass lake I've ever seen. And with Ray's 19-pound, almost Mexican record, I'm telling you, these fish are on.
What about Captain Admiral?
Captain Admiral, he got a big one.
He got a big one.
We all had big fish, giant fish, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19 pounds. You'll never see anything like it again. Got to get down to Lake Baccarac.
Fishing with Roland Martin. Brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.